Hi everybody, this is Avrohom Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange. I hope you and yours are well and everyone had a wonderful Passover holiday. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Shemini. And Parshat Shemini has many interesting topics, including the laws about which animals are kosher, the animals that chew their cud and have split hoofs, which fish are kosher, the ones with fins and scales, which birds are kosher, the ones that are not birds of prey. So besides that, these animals are the kosher ones, they have to be prepared properly with the kosher ingredients and proper ritual slaughter. But we're going to talk about something else today. We're talking about silence, the power of silence. Is silence a good thing? Well, on one hand, God did make us with 2 ears and 1 mouth, which is to teach us a very important lesson. It's better to listen more and speak less. On the other hand, speech can be very important. The importance of speech to give somebody a compliment. Don't be stingy with compliments. It doesn't cost anything and can really make a difference in somebody's life. So speech is important for compliments. Speech is important to defend somebody else. Someone is being abused or somebody is having a hard time. Stand up for somebody else. And of course, speech is important in prayer. But silence also has its important place. Silence is the area of if somebody embarrasses us publicly and we don't respond in anger, that's a particular auspicious moment for prayer. That the Almighty says you were embarrassed and you didn't fight and defend yourself, and we'll listen to your prayers. But in this week's portion, Aaron has a different kind of silence. He unfortunately loses 2 of his children, Nadav and Avihu, when they make a mistake in the temple, and God took their lives, and Aaron, the father's response is silence, no complaints to God. And that's not an easy thing. Sometimes we're upset. We don't understand why God does things. But Aaron taught us a very powerful lesson of faith and acceptance of what the divine will is. And there's a very powerful story that I'd like to share with you about the Waxman family in Israel. The Waxman family, on October 10th, 1994, Nachshon Waxman, may his blood be avenged, was a soldier in the IDF that was kidnapped by Hamas. And with all the interviews that the parents were giving, Yehuda and Esther Waxman spoke with powerful faith and the importance of that. It's ultimately up to the Almighty what's going to happen, and encourage people to pray and light candles. And it galvanized the country. Even the secular Israelis were all moved by this. As a matter of fact, on the Thursday of that week, over 50,000 people came to the Western Wall to pray on his behalf. And that night, unfortunately, they found out that the Israeli Defense Forces broke into the house where they found out that he was being held, and Hamas terrorists killed him. And he joined the holy martyrs of the Jewish people. But listen to what they said. There's no need to say anything. Just one thing worries me. Nachshon succeeded in raising the Jewish people to a high level of faith and prayer. Now we have a responsibility to maintain this heightened level. People will ask, how is it that we were not answered from above in spite of all the countless prayers? But you know, I asked Hashem for many things in my life, and He always granted them. I asked Him for good health, and He gave it to me. I asked Him for family such as I have merited, and He gave it to me. Now if they ask me why our prayers did not earn us the reply we sought from our Father in heaven, I will tell them we did receive a reply. Our response was, the answer was no, because sometimes a father can say no. Tremendous faith and strength that these people had. And what they said was, look, no prayer was wasted. The Hamas terrorists placed bombs by all the entrances to the room where they were, and thank God no other Israeli soldiers were killed, only Nachshon. And this is a strong lesson for us, not just Aaron. Our sages tell us to be the students of Aaron who loved peace, pursued peace, and loved everybody. But Aaron was also a role model of acceptance of the divine decree, that sometimes bad things happen, and if we can understand that the Almighty is in charge, that is a powerful, powerful tool. I know somebody, a rabbi, who knew a lady who said, without saying words, she said, can't talk because God is in charge. God is in charge. So we should use our mouths for the right thing, to pray, to defend somebody, to compliment somebody. We should use our silence to be a better listener to somebody else, and our silence not to respond when we're insulted in anger, but rather in prayer, and ultimately to accept the divine will. What does the Almighty want? And if we accept it, that can turn the bad into good, and things can turn around because of our greater faith. Have a wonderful Shabbos. All the best.